I have taught Chopin's Fantaisie Impromptu to hundreds of students throughout my career as a university piano performance professor, and I've noticed that pianists struggle with the same thing: the hand coordination of playing two different rhythms at the same time and being able to play fast and evenly without tension. Over the years, I've figured out what really works. Today I'm going to share a few of my solutions with you, so you'll feel a real difference the next time you sit down to practice this piece. I truly believe it's important to learn to be able to play your notes fluent before you deal with the polyrhythm. So for that reason, I'm going to start with just the first of the piece, talking about how to get your notes better and faster. Now, the eighth notes are the first thing you're dealing with in the left hand. You're dealing with this figure. Now that figure is all the way through the piece. That means you got to be able to play these notes evenly. That's the first thing you got to do here. So when I'm playing those, my arm comes out from my fifth finger and it comes in from my thumb. So I'm not trying to play this like this, which is going to mean I'm not going to get it even. I've got some arm movement like this. Now let's try another exercise with just the right hand. Now you're going to start slow, but I want you to watch how you're using your arm. So you can see as I'm here, I'm over the keys, then I roll off. Now, little by little, try to get it faster, but don't eliminate your motion. Keep your motion. So you're doing this. Now do it on the second half. So the second half is this. So you want to get it faster. Now combine all the notes in the measure. The important thing to remember is that your arm has to be over your fifth finger when you come out here, and that you need to have your hand over the notes that you play that are seconds. So these, then the arm goes out and covers the fifth finger. Measure 7 intimidates many pianists, but it doesn't need to. I can show you step by step how to conquer this passage. What feels intimidating, I think, is this sweeping up here, the arpeggio that goes up to there. First, take the first 4 notes and just learn to play those notes fast with the arm. Now remember, the arm is the key here. Now play the next 4 notes. And you have this jump. When you have the jump, let the arm come out. So you're getting behind that fifth finger, or you're not going to find that note and you're not going to be able to play it. Now the next step, once you can do this and do it fast, the next step is to go to your thumb. Like this. Learn to do that fast. Now you have these, and so you want to learn to get that fast. Now you want to put the motion together. The important thing to remember is that you need to stay relaxed and loose. When I put those notes together, I'm using my fingers for the movement, but I'm using my arm to get up to here to give my fifth finger that support. I'm gliding over my keys. And that's the secret. Don't feel like you've got to dig into your keys. Your keys need to be glided over like this. I'd like to quickly pause and invite you to my free masterclass called Why Your Playing Breaks Down as Speed Increases and How to Fix It. If you struggle with tension, unevenness, and mistakes at fast tempos in this piece or any piece, this masterclass is for you. Now you've got, your notes in your left hand, your notes in the right hand, you're pretty fluent in both. You're ready to tackle the polyrhythms, and you can do this. What I suggest that you do first is on your lap, do the first 2 beats of measure 5. Now, the left hand starts on the first beat because the right hand has a rest. So you're going to go 1, and then 2, and 3, and 4. So again, I'm going to 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Now, on beat 2, the hands come together. So these come together, 1, then the right comes first, 2, and 3, and 4. Now, I always start with my right after the downbeat because my right hand has 4 notes and my left hand has 3. So I've got more notes here. Now try playing the first beat of the piece. You're going to play the notes. So you've got 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Notice this is always coming on and. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Second beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 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 The important thing is that on the beat, you're going to line up with your hands. So as I play this whole measure, I don't line up on the first beat because it's a rest in the right hand, but 1, 2, and 3, and 4, line up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, line up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, line up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Once you've got that rhythm going right, you'll be able to increase your speed. Here's how to do it. First, just right on the very first beat, you want to start trying to do that faster. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Now the second beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Then try putting the 2 beats together. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 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 and 4. Notice I'm still counting. As you get it faster, you're not going to be able to count. It's just going to get too fast and you can't say it that fast. But by then, each hand is going to be able to do what it needs to do. The left will play even, the right will play even. On measure 17, the accent shifts to the second 16th note of each 4 group. That means that it's going to be your 5th finger that's going to play the accent now instead of your thumb. That always presents a problem for every pianist because if it's off the beat and it's harder because you've got to put more weight on the 5th finger, you've got to take it off the thumb. So as I do this, I'm very aware of how my elbow leads as I go out here. And you could even practice octaves like this to nail that 5th finger. See how I'm able to get that 5th finger to go down and keep my thumb soft because I'm not putting weight on my thumb, I'm putting my weight on my 5th finger from my arm. The Coda is the next focus on technique mastery, and the coda may be a little harder than some of the other places in the piece. It starts on measure 119. And I want to focus first on your left hand because you do need to be able to get around with that left hand. There's some leaps here. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. And this is a very, very wonderful technique trick that will help you. It all hinges on this G sharp right here. And it hinges on your third finger. Now, what you want to do is when you're playing this, I'm going to have you hold your third finger. Now just rotate down and come up and play your thumb. Now play the third, hold it. Now I realize the piece doesn't require you to hold the G sharp. In fact, you shouldn't hold it down, but you want to practice it like this. Now, why you do is because it's going to get you this arm motion that you need. Then, when you're ready to play it without holding the G sharp, keep your third finger on the G sharp, just touching it. And see, I've got exactly the same motion as I had when I was holding it down. It's a wonderful trick. This is going to make it so that you can do this. Now let's talk about the right hand, which has skips that can't be avoided. You're going to be going from here to here. And there's no way you can get around that. The hand is going to have to do it. It's the way Chopin wrote it. But there's some ways to practice it to help you get there. What I would do is start with solid intervals, like interval of a second and an octave. Now, notice how I hold my fifth and come up and tuck that 2-3 in here. Now here, I hold my thumb and bring my 3-2 down. Crossover. Okay, and then remember you're going to hold your thumb, come down with 3-2. All right, so you're already learning to move your fingers toward the position that you're going to have to move to and not just jump. You can practice this by doing 2 notes and then octave. Now hold the octave. Hold that thumb, come down and play 3-2. You can also practice it doing with this and then the octave. So you can play that, octave, octave. These will help you a lot. That exercise in itself, you need to bring your elbow out because you have accents. But that helps to learn to get that fifth finger to do those accents. Okay, some other ways to practice it is long, quick. So now, notice how I'm sliding from my fifth into my third. And then you could do the other rhythm. Slide. Please let me know in the comments what passages are the most difficult for you in Chopin's Fantaisie Impromptu. Your comments help me to know what videos to make next.